How are you?
I am not recovered. I'm so tired still from
I
this
am too.
past weekend.
I am too. Dancing until 2 a.m. in the rain was it was a blast though.
Yeah, it was just Friday night was a long night. Plus, obviously I wasn't feeling that well for part of that week. And it's just, whew,
Yes.
whew,
Well,
whew, whew.
so that was your first time staying at a JW Marriott in Nashville, right?
Yes, so I've stayed, well, I have my hotel that I work with. I've obviously stayed there. But for downtown, I've stayed at the JW, I've stayed at the W, and I've stayed at the Westin.
Okay, nice, nice. So, how would you rank those three hotels? Like pros, cons, briefly rank them.
Um, so my favorite room is probably the W.
Okay,
If we're
okay.
talking room design, I think W probably has a pinch of the advantage because I think walking around the W is a little more appealing to what I like to do.
Yeah,
There's
I
more
mean,
restaurants and whatnot right there. Where the JW is
and
right
I
by
live across the street.
Bridgetown. Yes, that too. But I had to say best bed though goes to the Westin.
Really? Well, that kind of makes sense. But isn't the West End supposed to be more about like a lot of like health focus, like spa focus?
Yeah,
Like
so the Westin in Nashville actually has like a lavender oil they put on your nightstand.
nice. Okay, yeah, that's kind of what I'm saying. I kind of got the impression they were a bit more focused on health, well being, things like that.
I mean, at the Westin, I slept like a baby, and I mean, it's beautiful. Their rooftop with that infinity pool thing at the
Oh, it's
top is
nice.
is really
Well,
neat.
they had the best view in Nashville until the JW Marriott built up a
Yeah,
tower.
honestly, the JW was my least favorite room
Really?
out of
Well,
all
you
of
know,
it.
it's funny you say that because when you posted your Instagram reel, first, I mean, your view looking over the convention center was amazing, amazing,
Oh,
right?
great view! Like floor to ceiling window, like great
It was
view.
beautiful. But when I looked at the room, my first thought, I think I even texted this to you, was I thought it looked almost a little dated, which is crazy, but it's a fairly new
So
property.
for me, it was functionality in all actuality. The shower and stuff was nice, and the bed was pretty comfy, but because of the way the JW is shaped and designed, as soon as the sun comes up, that room is bright no matter what with the curtains because the curtains don't actually have like I feel like the curtains need a wall hook on the one side because there's nothing you can clip it to. I wonder if I even have a picture 'cause I was really shook about it. I was actually thinking about calling Bonvoy honestly because that's part of the reason I couldn't like fully sleep in because it constantly
I hate when that happens. I hate when that happens.
like and for a room frankly that was
A lot.
I mean I spent a lot of points on it so I didn't have to spend it out of pocket but I mean that room was going for 1,000 plus bucks a night.
Mhm.
And I mean, like, we even tried there was a bench in there. We tried, like, standing the bench on its side and, like, wrapping it around it. It was just so bright, and it was hard to, sleep. Like, Jeff would actually put a washcloth over his face when he'd get up in the morning, use the restroom, and go back to sleep. He was just
Right.
yeah, I
Well,
mean, like, the lobby's beautiful, the
the
staff
lobby's
was
beautiful.
so
It's beautiful.
attentive. Olivia got a cute little person. I mean, the staff was great. Staff is like the saving grace there. But man, if I'm picking a hotel in Nashville, I'm doing the Westin or the W.
Okay, that is good to know. Well, guys, this is why you watch Today in Travel. Miss Haley here is our resident hotel expert. She's been in the hotels for 14 years ish.
We're over 16 now. It's
16,
it's really weird
16,
to say.
16 years. And guys, I am Jason Poole. I'm a travel advisor with Cruise Planners. You probably saw on Instagram, Haley was in Nashville this past weekend for Taylor Swift. It was insane. I'm still recovering from going twice. Went once
I
with
mean, I feel like you don't have to be a diehard Taylor Swift fan to enjoy that concert. Like it was
no, you know
an
what's I mean
experience.
this isn't today in Nashville, but that's what I told my friends. I'm like, I like her. I like her music. I'm not like decoding the secret messages of the shades of purple, and like I don't. I can like the music without it defining my personality.
Yeah,
Okay. And that's kind of where I am. I really, really like her music. But what defines my personality is travel. So let's dig into it.
yes.
Okay. So the first article was
What's your
posted.
favorite?
First article was posted by Pam in our Day and Travel group
Pam's our
online.
little Disney ambassador, so thank you, Pam.
Now, I don't. So I am not a Disney person, so I will explain this the best that I can. Then hand it over to you, Haley. Tell me if I'm right, if I'm wrong, and we'll see what's going on. So, as part of the pandemic rules, you had to start making reservations at Disney in Orlando and pick a day and a time to go to the theme park. They
Yeah,
are
so that was something new that came with the pandemic.
yes, okay,
Oddly enough, I thought it was actually kind of a neat idea. I know a lot of people didn't like that, but at least getting that semblance of, occupancy, I thought was,
yeah.
from a metric perspective, I actually kind of liked that a little bit.
So right now, if I'm reading it correctly, you are still required to make reservations for a certain day, but not a time slot for the Disney the theme park what's what I'm looking for. If you have a season pass, I guess.
Oh, annual, yeah, only certain reservations. So if you have an annual pass, I believe if you're not staying on Disney property, you have to. But if you have like a Disney reservation, you don't have to go in and do that anymore.
Right.
So if you're
So
at the Boardwalk, the Grand Floridian, Pop Century, you don't have to do that.
right, they're also bringing back the dining plans.
I am so excited for that piece, actually. Because when we like to go in the fall, there's always wine and food festival, and you can like break up your dining credits and get a few things at these different places. And it kind of brings back that a la cruising feel, like, you get a dining plan, you get your tickets, that it's all bundled together, paid for, done out the door. So
Right.
that is a huge plus. I know some of my friends were texting me, they're like, oh my God, it's about time.
Okay.
And they've
Well,
been waiting for this.
I don't have anything else to say on the topic. Do you?
Well, and then the park hopping. So you're not
Okay,
having
right.
the park hopper and stuff anymore. So it's that going back to normal.
Which we're gonna discuss at the end
Yeah,
of
it's a trending theme today. I'm super excited. I'm sure Pam is. Pam brought up some good points that I want to flash on here. Is the dining plan is a little different. The old dining plan used to include tips in the appetizer. The new one does not. So, Pam, thank you. Yes, Pam, you should do a chair for your ambassador role. That'd be super helpful. But what's the next topic, Jason?
We're gonna go talk about airlines. So this, I think, is absolutely wonderful. So the Biden administration is proposing a new set of rules that will be for the American, not for airlines in the United States, and they basically are around extreme delays and cancellations. So right now, there's already some government regulation about like if there's a cancellation, if they have to give you a refund plus a little bit of money. There's already rules in place there. But the Biden administration is really, really trying to get some things in line before the peak summer travel season to really
I'm
help.
like, he's still afraid of it.
Yeah. Well, it's there to help people. But look, I think it was on Instagram I saw President Biden said the ultra wealthy can afford the last minute hotels, the last minute flights on different airlines, but the vast majority of Americans who were going on, a summer trip to Disney, or they're just going to visit their grandparents in Arizona. that, maybe they don't have that income to get the extra hotel room
Yeah.
or to jump airlines, and which is completely true. But the common American doesn't think to get travel insurance or doesn't really
No, because
understand what it
every
covers.
penny matters. I'll never forget, like, I mean, it's not necessarily travel, but like when I had gone to a regional role, I had seen this like expensive like Calphalon set at Costco that I had been wanting
Hmm.
forever, and I could just buy it. Like it wasn't one of those like I've got to wait 2 weeks, I've got to schedule this out. So like not everybody has that luxury, and especially when you're planning a trip with kids. You and I joke, you're like, oh my God, why didn't you book Delta One for your work trip to Rome? And I was like, because I've spent most of this year
Yeah.
buying 3 tickets for most of the trips that I go on. So, I mean, not everybody has that, because even looking at travel insurance, when you quote $150 to somebody who's, pinching together every penny for this trip, that extra $150 is like,
No, it is. And look, so they're still writing the rules. So, the representatives from, the airlines and the pilots association, and they're already weighing in. So there's already been some rumbling that weather delays are going to be kind of exempt, which I kind of, I understand. I do. I do
yeah,
understand weather
it
delays. That's
happens.
completely
Like
under
it's,
control.
what is it? Is it force majeure?
Yeah, it
Technically
happens. But
speaking.
what is their fault are the not enough crew, technical issues, right? So that is going to push the airlines to have a little bit more accountability to make sure they're staffing things properly, having maintenance work faster, have the parts there. Like, so I think it is. I think this is great news. Fingers crossed this gets approved. From my understanding, it's going to be guidelines from like an agency where we don't have to get like Congress involved. So, because getting
We'll see
Congress
how
involved
that
is
goes. Because I mean, like right now, for example, when I got stuck in New York going to Galveston,
Mhm.
Jeff had heard them offering some people like the hotel and stuff in LaGuardia. Like there were other people that got stuck in LaGuardia. But it wasn't an announcement. Only some people heard it. I mean, I had travel insurance, so I just did whatever I wanted to do. And got reimbursed for it. But there's a lot of like, well, maybe we're not going to announce it because they don't want to pay for it. The airlines get to play in a whole different wild west scenario, I feel like, compared to, hotels, cruise
I
line. Although I should have added this. I'm going to ask you right before we roll into this next one. And I don't know why I
mhm.
didn't find an article on it. Royal Caribbean's been overselling, and that's something we typically don't see in
Yeah,
April.
so I saw that and I almost put it in the and on the show today. So it's happened again. And I don't know what's going on, because this is not something that Royal Caribbean has. I'm not saying it hasn't happened in the past. It has happened, but it is extremely rare. Okay, extremely rare for it to happen now twice within the matter of weeks. And the same ship in the same port. I am shocked that I don't have an explanation.
It makes me wonder from the hotel side, because a lot of people will be like, oh, and you've initially said like, oh, how can you just oversell your inventory? And for me, sometimes that situation happens when it's a maintenance issue, if it's a bed bug issue, if it's, I mean, because people don't realize that you can get bed bugs on cruise ships,
we
100%.
save, put a pin in that for 2 seconds.
I'm just knocking on wood here. But I almost wonder if it's maybe some maintenance issues with a couple rooms.
Yeah, I mean, look, I mean that's
Because like it's same ship, same port. Like that's just where my brain goes.
yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, I don't have anything else to say, but I have no inside information. I don't. I'm trying not to make a big deal out of it, because Royal Caribbean, it is so rare And I'm hoping this is just a very, very short-term temporary problem, and then it's going to be resolved, very, very quickly. So,
Speaking of
is there,
issues,
guys, I don't. So, cruise ships in the United States are subject to um, health inspections very similarly to how most states and municipalities do health inspections for restaurants. Cruise ships are inspected by the CDC, and it is almost a formality for the CDC to do cruise ship inspections. Okay. I've been on a sailing, I think it was actually Navigator of the Seas. They just got their report. They got a perfect 100. Okay. And they were so proud of themselves for the 100. But their last one, they got like a 99, and they were really, really upset. And it was something tiny, 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 right? And they wanted 100. Okay. Cruise ships on the regular are in the 90s plus. Okay. I used to know a health inspector, and there are restaurants in Nashville. If they got a 90, the manager was
and that's when
worried.
I get so mad when I see like the floating petri dish comments, and I'm just like, I see people like, I mean, especially the lines that I typically cruise, like Celebrity Royal, like you could eat off the floor. They're cleaning.
Now, so the CDC went on the new MSC Seaside, and it got a score of 67. Let me read from the article. The agency found numerous deficiencies during its inspection of the MSC Seaside, such as flies in the bar area at the Seaside Bar, passenger sinks with no soap or broken soap dispensers at the buffet, and black filth residue coating unopened yogurt containers in a walk-in refrigerator, amongst other issues. Now, guys, it's time. It's time for a little bit of a rant. So buckle up. As a travel advisor, I am very cautious of the brands, the vendors, the suppliers, the destinations, the ships, the resorts, the airlines that I recommend to my clients. Okay. I don't recommend cruise ship A or B or airline A or B because it's always my favorite. Okay. If you live in New Jersey, I'm putting you on United, even though I am not a United person, but I completely trust United Airlines. Okay. You should have seen when our good friend Claire had like a 30-minute connection in Newark going to Athens, and her bags freaking made it. Okay. United, we might give them a lot of joking crap, but they're a great airline. Okay. When you look in the cruising world, we have some amazing choices out there. Okay. There is a reason I do not push MSC cruises. I will book it if people reach out to me, but I do not promote it. MSC is for people who want in many cases, a yacht club experience, but less than the Haven or Celebrities Retreat, or they want a big new ship that's pretty, and their ships are beautiful. Their new ships are beautiful.
That is the thing that is so mind-boggling about MSC is they have the hardware to really play ball.
They do. But so the people who are booking them because it's cheap. Like, let's call a spade a spade.
And that's not a negative thing per se.
That is not a negative thing. Like we said earlier,
but it's also understanding what it is. Like, I have an MSC sailing with friends next year. Jeff's actually supposed to, I believe, be on that ship in a couple weeks with a friend. We kind of had to find something over Easter break that, like we could send out to friends that, don't make what we do, or friends that want to, tiptoe into Europe and not break the bank with a family.
Yeah,
But I mean, like,
I,
it's
I
also understanding what it is. For us, it's mainly just a place to sleep, and we end up
but
spending a lot of time in ports. But there's so many inconsistencies with the brand.
but it's like, but I didn't push MSC for various reasons. I didn't expect the clients that did go to be on a ship that got a failing score. Okay,
Yeah.
Mike, I just can't even begin to describe. There are some comments that I missed on my Facebook. I apologize. Pam said, a different Pam, is said she's currently on Anthem and it's so clean. Derek said on his last cruise, got off on Ovation, the crew was constantly cleaning. He didn't
I
see
like love
1
that
minute.
smell of cruise ship bleach. Like, it's
Right. It's like they are constantly clean. So like you have to almost work hard to get a failing score. Now, do I have any doubt MSC is going to fix this and then the next inspection will be better? Yes, I do. But it just goes to a culture of them just not caring.
I mean, I will
And
go out on a limb and say the MSC sailing that I did, the the thing that a lot of us love about the cruise line is the people. And that was even more hit or miss. Now, I don't know if it's because, you know, the US is used to our US based cruise lines that above and beyond behavior. If it's a culture difference, I don't know, but it
right.
wasn't necessarily the same. There were some great people, and then there was just some not so great people.
Yeah, I mean, I could rant on this for a while, but there are just lots of just structural issues with MSC. I have an outstanding issue with a great client, great friend right now, but we just keep having issues with MSC, and it's just like I could rant for a while, but we're gonna move on.
Yes. All right. So
No, well,
I forgot to make the Marriott one. Hold on here.
no, you're fine. So I thought this was interesting. So, guys, we've kind of been talking lately about how Hyatt has been going on this like spending spree, buying a lot of properties. Marriott's been kind of doing the same thing. So this week, Marriott's total brand count. When we say brand count, we mean all the different flags
Like
you see at Marriott
Fairfield,
properties.
Sheraton, W.
JW, Marriott, like all those brands, right? So they just purchased Mexico City's express chain of affordably priced hotels. So I thought this was also really interesting. And it almost kind of seems like we can't let a Hyatt have all of the like flags in Mexico, because now with Secrets, their purchase of it, that's a lot of
No, you're right, and
properties.
that is one direction on that. And Marriott's and technically Hyatt's as well, where they differ compared to Hilton as well, is they're buying. Hilton
Right.
is creating and designing. Like, that's Chris Nasetta's whole thing from Hilton. He's just like, we don't buy brands, we create them. So you see them like evolving their all-inclusive options in Mexico. Marriott's buying, and then this type of property is extended stay. And what did we talk about within the last couple weeks? Hyatt just doubled down on Hyatt Studio. A couple months ago, we talked about Hilton creating their new extended stay for conversion properties. People that don't want to spend the money converting maybe their Hampton Inn and Suites to the latest gen, but want to spend a little less money and keep their Hilton brand.
Right.
I mean, it's
Right.
that trail mix of business. Like, you can't just rely on one type of business. And I mean,
Right.
that's what made you laugh a little bit too. Like Hyatt was doubling down on luxury, and then they're like, "Oh, Hyatt Studio."
Right. At first glance, it was contradictory, but then you think about it from we see this in all sectors, right? You think like the Norwegian and the Royal Caribbean group and it's like Norwegian has Norwegian, Oceania, Region 7 Seas. Royal Caribbean has Royal Caribbean, Celebrity, Silver Sea, right? So they've got a product and a price point for everybody. You want to spend $100,000 on a world cruise on Silver, or you want to spend $400 on a 3-night Bahamas? We got you.
Well, and then the smaller, cheaper brands, as people move up in their careers and whatnot, like there's so many people that start with like a Hampton Inn Suites because they loved Hampton Inn Suites. It's a really great entry level product that works for business and leisure. Hilton does a really great job of that. So then as you're making more money, it's like, oh, maybe I want to try one of the Hilton all-inclusive resorts. I'm earning points there anyway, so it all serves its purpose.
No, I agree. All right, so this is a great question. So there's been this growing trend and actually it's been going on for months and months and months. I haven't heard about it at convention in late 2022 that travel is back. Okay. Now, a lot of that is kind of the hoopla, right? It's the PR, get out there, go travel again.
It generates people saying that it generates demand.
Absolutely. I mean, Delta saying this is going to be the busiest travel season we've ever had makes people go, "Oh my God,
I need to book my tickets." Oh my God.
Like I got a book, right. And so, a couple things. One, it looks like the travel sector is going to hit like 9.5 trillion this year, which is just a few percentage points shy of the 2019 number. So we're really, really close. Now, this mimics some data that's been publicly shared, so I'm not breaking any confidentiality here with cruise planners. We are seeing as cruise planners as a whole, we're at like 95% of 2019, like as an entire.
I just want to point out, if you go back to one of our early Today in Travel shows, I said 24, 25.
You did. I remember that. You did. So, I think it's interesting. And, so my question is like, what is holding people back? Why are things recovering? So, Journey with Josh says Royal's doing quite well. They are. And some of the top suites on like Icon are selling at, crazy stupid prices, but there are still a lot of itineraries and sailings that are selling for a lot less money than they want. So remember, when you're looking at travel numbers, they're often not looking at number of people, reservations. It's how much money are we getting in? I mean, remember, the Royal Caribbean group is still losing money every single quarter. Okay. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm sorry. I think they had one quarter they posted a tiny profit, but like they're still not making money, and they won't for quite some time. I mean, all that bad debt they have on the books, the high interest rates. I mean, it's going to be a while before.
Many realms of the travel industry, from airlines to cruise ships to hotels, those awesome deals are very few and far between. Now we're making up for lost time.
We are. So someone has a great question here and said, why are they losing money? Well, I mean, guys, it's simple, right? The Royal Caribbean group has Icon of the Seas. They're building the Celebrity Ascent. They're working on the 5th unnamed Edge class. They're working on Utopia of the Seas. They are already announced they're going to build a few Icon class ships. When you start doing a loan of a few over $1 billion per ship, that's a lot of money. Okay. And so I know.
Well, they're doubling down on what they're promising people in these commercials. I mean, we're seeing this shift with them putting Allure over in Port Canaveral doing short sailings.
Right.
That's right. They're looking at what ships are doing the best
I mean, and look, you don't put Allure of the Seas out of Galveston, Texas, to make a lot of money. That is one of the cheapest cruise ports in the country, which is why you don't see celebrity there, which is why you don't see, any of Oceania there. You're never gonna see like a Silver Sea there, right? Galveston is a very inexpensive cruise port. So the days of them having all Oasis class ships out of Florida every Saturday, every Sunday packed at a premium are over. If they thought they could get more money from Allure of the Seas out of Fort Lauderdale, the Allure would be in Fort Lauderdale, hands down. It's in Galveston because they can't get Oasis, Allure, Harmony, Symphony, Wonder, soon to be Utopia at those crazy 2019 premiums. So that's why they're spreading them out. I mean, so
and it lets them tap into a market, kind of in that area. With it being cheaper, those people don't want to fly to Florida. Exactly. Galveston's a big driving market.
It's a huge driving market. So I think it's interesting that it talked about how the regions that are recovering quite well, travel in the United States is doing well, because I think it's an easy driving market. There are still people who are a little concerned about the economy. Inflation is a real issue. It's a real thing. So people are doing a little bit more of the let's just go to Florida, get a hotel, versus the, let's go to the Med, fly to Europe and get on a cruise. It is projected 2024 will beat 2019 momentum. And this is a lot inside baseball. It looks like it's slowing a little bit in 23. But like when people call me to book trips right now, for the most part, I'm doing 24. It's a lot of 24, even some 25.
Well, there's also that, recession word that's thrown around quite a bit.
Right.
And that has a factor on it too.
No, absolutely. So, all right. So I thought that was interesting. And then the last one, Haley, this might surprise you, the travel tip. So I was thinking about, so I had a friend in town for the Taylor Swift concert. Okay. And he was having to check a bag. He gets one free with his credit card, and he's going to pay for a second one. And I said, hey, let me do it. I have the Platinum Amex, and I get $200 a year in airline reimbursement credit. So why don't you let me pay for it, because I'll get it reimbursed, because I never really have fees with Delta.
No.
Because of my status, I never have fees. So then it hit me last night. If you fly a lot and you have status with an airline, and you have a credit card that you have to pick an airline at the beginning of the year for your reimbursement credit, maybe you shouldn't pick the airline that you fly a lot.
And this is your thought because you don't have a family. I'm going to throw it out there. My airline credit goes to those extra lounge.
Okay, sure.
Stuff like that. But no, as a solo traveler.
Because I was thinking, wow, I really wish I had picked Virgin as my airline, because I have to buy Wi-Fi, this weekend. So I'm actually going to be spending money. So that's a good point. If you have family, you need to get into the lounges. But like as a solo traveler with status, get in the lounges for free. It hit me to don't just blindly pick your airline for the reimbursement. Kind of think about it and say, do I act? You know what I mean? I don't pay fee. Now, once in a while, if you pay for a seat upgrade, it often is, I've seen it flagged as a fee. And the $200.
Yeah, I've had it come back. Like when I've upgraded,
I've had that come back.
Jeff or Olivia into Comfort before Jeff was Platinum.
Right. I've seen that happen. So, well, Haley, wonderful show. I hope you're recovering from your Nashville weekend.
Tired.
I am too. So next week, I will be in the Med. I'm not sure where I'll be on Tuesday, but hopefully it's somewhere with strong.
Forgetting where you are.
I don't even know where I'm going to be on Tuesday, but I will be out of the country. If I have good service wherever I am, I have to look it up. We'll hopefully be coming to you from somewhere in the Mediterranean.
By we, he means him. I wish.
Guys, thank you. Join our Facebook group, todayandtravel.live, and we will talk to you guys soon.
All right, bye, guys.